Alright, so the tool that I'm going to show you today is the pattern tool. The pattern tool is right here if you're just starting out. There's two, it's called the rectangular pattern tool, but it actually does a couple of things, not just rectangular pattern. So I'm just going to make a quick sketch. I know some people have tried to make like buildings, so let me just make a very quick building shape. It's not the most exciting building, but there we are. So for the building, let me do some windows. So I'm going to make a sketch on this first side here. I'm going to make one window, because the point of this is we're trying to save time. So if I make one window, I want to be able to copy this around. Now I'm going to copy this in the 3D space. I'm going to do it in a very certain way. You will notice that there is a rectangular pattern and circular pattern tool here. The problem with doing it here is if I tiled out my 2D shape, I'd have to extrude each of them individually, and that's not really what I want to do right now. So I'm just going to do one, and then I'll extrude that, and I'll copy that. So moving on here, I'll finish my sketch. I'll extrude this shape just to give my window a little bit of depth, and then I'm going to copy that now cut extrusion for the face of the building. So I will rectangular pattern this up around the building, but I need to change the object type. The object that this is called a feature. We've done a little bit with faces for texturing, bodies and components we'll get into later. So feature, select the object, I'll just select that cut. You can do this with a positive shape or a negative shape. For the axes, I'm going to select a line going in the direction I want to copy. So if I want to copy vertically, I'll click on a vertical line. If I click on a horizontal, I will copy in the horizontal. Or I can make copies in the horizontal anyways. And then you can also change like the number there. So if I double the number, it'll update, and then I can say OK. So it'll just copy that negative shape in that rectangular pattern as I wanted to do. Now the other way this pattern tool can work is a circular pattern. So if I make kind of a rocket ship thing, so I'll make like a rocket ship thing here, extrude that. Okay. And then I'm going to make a feature. So I'm going to make a sketch off one of these original planes. And you'll actually notice I'm drawing inside of this. So if I start, I'm actually starting inside of it. I'll show you in a minute how that looks. So if I look at this from the side, you can actually see it's like inside of that, which is fine, because I'm going to join it to it anyways. So I'll extrude, I'll extrude that shape. I'll be fancy and just go symmetric. That way it's going to stay centered. So I can do this. It's going to default to cut because again I started on the inside and there's overlap, which usually defaults to cut, but I'll choose join. So I want to make a new thing and I'll say okay. So now I've got one fin. So now that it says rectangular pattern, but again it's going to be not what we're going to use it. We're going to use it as a circular pattern. So now I'm going to select to make sure this still says feature because I just want one. Select the axis and it will copy it around there. And I can change this to a different number as well and it'll update. There's also worth noting you can change the distribution from full to partial, but for this right now I'm just doing that. And that's some sort of rocket thing. So this is a circular pattern and then this is a rectangular pattern. So using that, just like with all the other assignments, try to make something that looks like a recognizable object. Make sure it's fully textured and rendered and turn it in with your screenshot without navigation. Thank you.